Well, heck, it's one of those days that we've got to do a little preventative maintenance. Preventative maintenance by meaning it's time we gotta winterize the old camper. Dang it. That means we aren't going to do any more camping for the season, at least that I know of. But I got to get her winterized. Let's do it. Yes, sir. You know, there's a lot of right ways and there's a lot of wrong ways to winterize your RV camper, but I'm going to do it a way that I've done it for quite some time with the RVs that I've had in the past and with this one, and I'm going to show you how. There's a big debate on whether or not that you use antifreeze or that you use compressed air and blow out your lines. But Pooch is going to walk you through the way he does his, and if you don't know, maybe you'll learn something. I don't know if it's right, I don't know if it's wrong. I'm just going to show you what Pooch does and what's worked for him. So let's get after it, and I'm going to take you around here and we're going to show you the first steps that I take. Yes, sir. Now, being this ain't one of them big monstrosities of an RV, I've had them, but this one suits me fine. It works great for me and Pretty. But anyway, you got to find the low points. You got to find the low point to where you can, drain that water out of that low point. And mine happens to be back here in the back. And it even states it right there. So let's get under there and let's drain the low point. Yes, sir. Some of these are big and fancy, and some of them are plain and simple. Mine are plain and simple. I don't have no big valves on there, but there is caps. So I'm gonna take that cap off there. That happened to be in the cold side. And I'm also gonna pull the hot side. We're just gonna let them be open for a bit and let them drain. Yes, sir. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get into here where my hot water heater is. And there's a drain plug down here at the bottom of this thing that I'm about to pull and let that hot water heater drain out. There is a pressure relief valve right here. I'm going to let that thing open up a little bit. I'll show you where that is real quick. That button right there, that's your pressure relief. Just pop it up, let that pressure build off that thing, and then you can get in down there to where that drain plug is. That's where your heating element is too. I replaced mine last year. Hopefully I don't have to do it this year, but we're gonna open that thing up and get her draining. Don't do like I do and abuse your tools. I done hammered on this extension, this 1/2-inch extension, using it as a chisel or something, but it wouldn't fit on my socket. Luckily, it fits on this one, or at least my ratchet, and then I can get that on my ratchet. Let's see, let me get it to where I can righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Oh boy, did I torque that thing down or what? I don't think I did, but it sure felt like it. Let's drain that tank. There you go. Look at there. I almost got a bathing. It ain't bath day either. Man, look at that thing. And I just replaced it last year. got a lot of corrosion on her. But we're gonna let her drain a minute. Yes, sir. Once you got that hot water heater drained, go ahead and put the plug back in there and put your caps back on your low point drains. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to check my freshwater holding tank. I never put any water in my holding tank because most of the time when I'm going camping, I'm using the hookup. But we are going to double check that holding tank, make sure there's no water in it because you got to drain it too. Let me show you. Freshwater connection. And there's the drain for the freshwater connection. Let's just see if there's anything in there. There shouldn't be, but let's check. We don't need nothing. Will you look at there? No, I didn't put anything in there. Who knows? Maybe I did. But you got to drain it too. Yes, sir. Well, that made a liar out of me, but I got it drained. So let's get on and get ready to do the next step. Pooch has got to go get his compressor and bring it out here, get her plugged in, built up with pressure, and we'll get these lines filled with some compressed air. Let's go get it. Yes, sir. Well, there's nothing like when you got a cart to bring your stuff out here. Route this little air compressor over here. Luckily for me, I've got my 30 amp plug out here that I can plug my RV in. And then I've also got a septic system right here where I can dump my septics or my black and gray waters off my RV right here. But first thing I'm going to do is I've got her plugged in and ready to go. We are going to let this baby fill up with air. I usually run a regulator when I connect my water lines wherever I'm camping at to my RV. You know, I think most RVs say do not allow the water pressure to get no more than 30. Now I do use a regulator to try to drop it down to 30 or just a little bit below 28, and it goes the same when you're wanting to pump air into this thing. I'm going to keep mine at about 20 psi, just so I got just enough to help push water through the lines and get it to the points where I'm going to try to push it out. But yeah, you definitely want to keep a regulator when you're hooking up to campsites. No more than 30 psi, and I'm going to do the same on this compressor. I'm going to drop it down to about 20. So let's do that. Yes, sir. Now you can tell she's full, but I'm going to adjust that. I'm going to bring that down. Let's bring that pressure down of what's going to be leaving this compressor. See, there's 20, a little 25. I'm right in that range, so I'm going to feel safe about connecting this hose to my camper here to see if we can push some water out of the lines. What I have here is a simple tool. It's a quick connect. It's got like a hose bib connection to it. I'm going to attach it to where I would normally hook my water hose up to my camper when I'm running the fresh water to it. But let's go get her connected. It's going to go right here. You can see where it says city water connection. You got this little cap you just pop off, put that in there, and I will twist and tighten it up. Can't do it one-handed, but maybe I could do it that way. No, but Let me get that connected on there, and then we'll do the next step. She's gonna look something like that. As you can tell, I got this valve in the closed position. I'm gonna see if I can do this quick connect to this hose to get ready to pump some air through it. Let's see. I'm probably gonna need both hands, but let's give her a shot. Alrighty, I've got my hose connected there, and that hose runs over to my compressor. And remember, I set that compressor pressure to 20 psi because I don't want no more than 20 psi feeding into this thing. Good thing is I've got this valve here. I can slowly open it and let her in. Let's do it. Yes, sir. I'm gonna slowly open this up and let it fill the lines in there. And I mean slowly. Okay. Now let's go in there and see what happens when we open up a faucet. Now what we should be able to do is go in here and crank open our faucets to let that air push this water out. Let's check it out and see. All right, let's go the hot cold side. Yes, sir. There was a little bit in there. I'll let the line fill back up. I can hear it. And then we'll pop open the hot side. Let it flow until it stops. Heard my air compressor kick on. Okay, now we're in here in the bathroom sink. Let's pop that cold side open. Yep, had a little bit in there. Good enough. I usually disconnect the shower hose, but we're going to get the water on too, see. A lot of air on that one, which is good. Here goes the hot. A lot of air on that one as well. Okay. Don't forget your toilet. Yep, wasn't much in there. Okay. And last but not least, if you've got one out here, you want to get your outdoor shower. I've got a little one here, so I got to get that thing drained out. Yes, sir. I'll disconnect that hose as well. But let's get on with the next step and let's wrap this up. Yes, sir. Now everybody's got their own methods of doing things, and I'm not going to say that mine's the right way. It's just what works for me. I've done it for years that way. But next thing to do is disconnect all of this stuff, and just as precaution, I'll go around and open up those low drain lines again, and I will open up that hot water heater, remove that plug, and I'll leave it open. And I will also open up all the lines, all the faucets inside, as if I was turning them on. I'm going to leave those open, And unfortunately, I don't have any antifreeze with me at the moment. But what I will do with the antifreeze is I will go in there and I will pour some, about a cup or more, into each drain. The kitchen sink drain, the bathroom sink drain, the shower drain, and I'll also pour some and leave it sitting inside the toilet at that valve, that flush valve. But it's pretty simple, folks. You need to do this so you don't bust all your water lines. Again, just be careful with hooking up an air compressor to your camper. 20 pounds PSI, and just regulate it. Don't blow your lines out. That's just as bad as freezing. You got to replace them. But anyway, I hope you folks learned something from this, and we'll see you next time. Remember, everybody needs a friend named Pooch, and they call me Pooch. Yes, sir.